Hey, peace fam, absolute salute, Ella the boss, aka Ella the guy, and I'm tapping in with another reading segment brought to you by Quantum Media. And as always, the amazing goddess Mahal Keith is right here by my side, and I am about to conclude the reading of our body of work, the Occult Media Spell, starting off with Chapter 7. Check it out. Chapter 7, The Grand Master and the Grand Wizard. Racism hidden in plain sight in the martial arts. There is a feeling that many black practitioners of martial arts have experienced but rarely been able to articulate. It is a dissonance, a subtle wrongness that arises when a non-Asian instructor, or sometimes even an Asian one operating within a westernized commercial system, demands to be addressed as Grand Master. The word lands with a weight that does not belong. Your instinct is correct. That feeling is not paranoia. It is historical memory. It is the recognition that the title Grand Master is not an ancient Asian honorific. It is a European invention, and it shares its cultural identity with the very same fraternal tradition that gave the Ku Klux Klan its title of Grand Wizard. This is not a coincidence. It is the inversion doctrine at work in the dojo. The melanated origins of martial arts. Before we can understand the appropriation of martial arts culture, we must first understand its origins. The modern image of Japan and Korea is one of a homogeneous, light-skinned population, but this is a relatively recent demographic reality. The indigenous people of Japan, known as the Jomon, were a genetically distinct, melanated people who inhabited the Japan archipelago for over 10,000 years before the Yayoi migration from the Asian continent around 300 BCE. Genetic studies and physical reconstructions of Jomon remains consistently point to a people with darker skin, more robust features, and a significantly deeper phenotype from the later Yayoi immigrants who would become the ancestors of modern mainland Japanese. The Jomon's direct descendants, the Ainu people of Hokkaido, have been subjected to centuries of brutal discrimination and forced assimilation by the Japanese state precisely because of their distinct non-Japanese appearance. They were the others in their own homeland. Sound familiar? The melanated original whose existence challenged the racial mythology of a homogeneous Japan. Homogeneous means white, like your milk. The fighting traditions that developed in these islands, the grappling arts, the striking arts, the weapon arts, were born from the culture and the bodies of these original people, melanated inhabitants. The arts that the world now calls karate, dojo, and taekwondo are, at their deepest root, the inheritance of people of color. This is the silent, suppressed backdrop against which the drama of martial arts titles plays out. Grandmaster is a Western invention. This is the fact that most people in the martial arts world do not know, and that the commercial martial arts industry has no interest in publicizing. According to documented historical record, Asian martial arts traditionally use terms that translate as teacher, and the use of master was a Western invention derived from 1950s United States veterans returning home with stories of the incredible martial feats that they had witnessed in Asia. The authentic titles of these traditions tell a completely different story. In Japan, the traditional title is sensei, meaning one who has gone before, a teacher. The highest level of instructor recognition is Shihan, meaning teacher of teachers. The head of the lineage is the Soki, meaning head of the house. In Korea, the proper term for a martial arts instructor is Sabo-nim, and the general term for any teacher is Sansanim. In China, the master is Sifu, a combination of the characters for teacher and father. None of these cultures had a grand master. The concept did not exist in the original cultural framework of these arts. The title was invented by American veterans who needed a word for their own cultural vocabulary to convey the reverence they felt for the teachers they had encountered and whooped their ass. They reached into the well of European fraternal tradition and pulled out Master and Grand Master, titles with a very specific, very Western history. The shared bloodline, Grand Master and Grand Wizard. The term Grand Master traces its lineage directly to the Latin Magister Magnus, the supreme title of the heads of the medieval Christian military orders, the Knights Templar, the Knights Hospitaller, and the Teutonic Knights. From these chivalric orders, the title was inherited by Freemasonry, where the Grand Master is elected head of a Masonic jurisdiction. It is a title of European Christian fraternal hierarchy. The Ku Klux Klan, founded in 1865 by Confederate veterans in Pulaski, Tennessee, a town with no fewer than 8 Masonic lodges, was explicitly modeled in the same tradition of American secret societies that were themselves descended from Freemasonry and the chivalric orders. When the founders of the KKK constructed their hierarchy, they drew from this same cultural well. The leader became the Grand Wizard. Below him, the Grand Dragon. Below him, the Grand Titan, the Grand Cyclops. The word grand is the connecting thread, the same linguistic DNA that runs through Grand Master in the Masonic Lodge and Grand Master in the Taekwondo Dojo. The family tree is clear and documented. Knights Templar, Freemasonry, Grand Master. American Martial Arts, Grand Master. KKK, Grand Wizard. They are etymological cousins. They share a common ancestor. The same cultural stream that produced a white supremacist terrorist organization's title of ultimate authority also produced the title being used to signify mastery in arts that originated with the melanated peoples of Asia. The inversion of the dojo. This is the inversion doctrine operating in plain sight. The arts of the melanated Jamon and their descendants have been stripped from their authentic cultural titles, Sensei, Soki, Sabon, and replaced with a European title that shares its roots with the KKK. The authority of the black and brown practitioner, even when they have achieved the highest levels of mastery, is framed and legitimized through a title system born from the same European fraternal tradition that built the architecture of white supremacy. This is not to say that every dojo using the term Grand Master is a racist institution. Most instructors use the title in complete ignorance of its history, but that ignorance is itself a product of the media spell, the erasure of authentic cultural history, and its replacement with a westernized, commercialized substitute. The feeling of unease you experienced in the dojo is the feeling of a stolen inheritance. It is the recognition that even in the spaces where you seek discipline, mastery, and spiritual development, the hand of the inversion doctrine has been at work, quietly replacing the original with the counterfeit. The antidote is the same as it always is: knowledge. Reclaim the authentic titles, honor the true lineage, call your teacher Sensei, Sabon, Sifu. In doing so, you honor the melanated people who created these arts, and you take one more step towards breaking the spell, and you honor yourself. Peace, fam, absolute salute. And that concludes the Occult Media Spell. Thank you for listening.
You